say something. I'm back. Before we get to it, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you always watch the full video. Make sure you put in the comment section RIP JayDaYoungan.
JayDaYoungan's brutal murder shocked the rap game back in 2022, but nobody expected what his homies were gonna do to get revenge. They allegedly started sliding on the Opps less than an hour after JayDaYoungan died, and now the whole crew is facing a Rico case. JayDaYoungan's hometown of Bogalusa, Louisiana isn't in the news much. It's in the middle of nowhere and only has around 10,000 people that live there, but it has one of the highest crime rates in America. And for a few hours on July 27, 2022, it turned into a war zone. Jay had been fighting some serious cases for a couple of years, but in July 2022, he was out celebrating his freedom. He had just pleaded guilty to a gun case in June and was let out on supervised release, and his fans were ready to start hearing some new music. But while he was sitting outside of a house in Bogalusa with his dad having some drinks, a truck pulled up and 3 shooters hopped out and started letting off shots. Jay's dad started
All the thing is, bro, it's like, you know what you do. Like, you know what you do, and it's like, bro, you're not in a position to where you can't afford, or I would hope that you're not in a position to where you can't afford to move your people, or at least put a fence around the house. When I seen that house, bro, it was like, bro, are you serious? I would not sit at that house, bro. I would not be, if I was in his position, I would not be sitting at that house. Like, bro, this house is, again, in the middle of nowhere, no fence, no, even though a fence wouldn't, no, it wouldn't 100% protect you, but at least make it somewhat less powerful for you to just get that hit that easy. Like, the whole house, nothing around it, nothing, bruh, nothing. If I got money like this, bruh, if I got money, I'm gonna put a whole barrier in front of my mama house, bruh, my daddy house, whoever. Or and then too, I wouldn't have a car that I'd be driving in. Not that I was driving, but yeah, driving, or that I'd use in my music videos in front of the house. Come on, bro. It's like, sad to say, with Young Dolph, you're the only person, I think, in the world with that rap on that car. Come on, bro. Come on. That's why I be like, when I be saying, like, when I be seeing YouTubers showing their cars, I understand it for content purposes, but bro, you're putting a target on your back. You're literally showing which you're driving in, and more likely, these are custom wraps. You're the only one with it.
back while Jay and him try to get inside the house for cover. But that's when 2 more shooters came up from behind the house and started letting off shots too. By the time it was over, Jay had been hit at least 8 times and was tragically pronounced dead at the hospital. But the violence wasn't over yet. While the cops were at the hospital trying to figure the situation out, they got a report about another shooting less than an hour after Jay was killed. On the other side of the city, someone had started letting off shots in traffic and hit up someone's whip, but luckily nobody got hurt. The cops knew from the jump that it was probably related to Jay getting shot, but his homies were still allegedly sliding through Bogalusa looking for Opps. That night, another shooting went down after someone pulled up to another house and started letting off shots. Everyone made it out of the situation alive and without getting hit, but it was clear that Jay's death was already having a massive impact on the town. Rap fans were shocked when the news broke about Jay's murder. He was on his way up in the industry and was racking up millions of streams every time he dropped. Jay was working with huge rappers like Lil Durk and Boosie Badass, and nobody expected him to get taken out like that. But that's only because the deadly street beef Jay was wrapped up in hadn't been all over the news, so fans had no idea what was really going on in JayDaYoungan's city. Bogalusa and all the towns around it are small, and most of the time when people hear about Louisiana, it's news coming out of Baton Rouge or New Orleans. So what most of Jay's fans didn't know is how active the streets of Bogalusa really are. So we're breaking down the crazy story that was going down behind the scenes. Jay and his homies repped a crew in Bogalusa called 23, but his death might have been because of another set they were cool with called La Familia, aka FG. La Familia's clicked up with 23 and another set called Hunger Gang. La Familia has affiliates all over the area around Bogalusa, and a few years ago, they started beefing with a set called Purple City Boys, aka PCB, from a town called Roseland. According to reports, La Familia and Purple City Boys.
See, this be our downfall right here, bro. Like, as black people, bro, it's 10,000 people in the city. 10,000 people. That's nothing, bro. 10,000 people, bro. And y'all made all these different crews and dumb, bro. Dumb, 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 dumb.
Didn't have any issues back in the day, but that all changed around 2019 and the situation turned deadly. A rapper from La Familia named 700 Jeezy started beefing with a dude from Purple City Boys named Tykeith. Nobody outside of the situation knows what was really going down behind the scenes, but the cops say that Jeezy and Tykeith started dissing each other, and in 2020, one of them ended up dead. On June 21st, 2020, a bunch of Purple City Boy affiliates were at a Father's Day celebration in St. Helena Parish. Everything was cool at first, but when Tykeith was walking to his car, 700 Jeezy allegedly caught him lacking and left him dead on the scene. After Tykeith was killed, his homie, Purple City Boy Buck, dropped a track called Regardless in honor of him. In just 2 weeks after 700 Jeezy allegedly killed Tykeith, 700 Jeezy linked up with JayDaYoungan for their own music video. Then 2 days after Jay and 700 Jeezy made the video, the beef between Purple City Boys and La Familia got an innocent woman killed. On August 8th, 2020, there was a birthday party going down in the woods around Roseland. Hundreds of people showed up and were having a good time, but then out of nowhere, shots started going off and everyone started running for their lives. According to the cops, Purple City Boys and La Familia ran into each other at the party and got into an argument. Then both sides upped their straps and started shooting. According to some reports, over 100 shots went off, but when it was all over, the only person who got killed was an innocent woman named Zion Hutcherson. Zion didn't have anything to do with the situation, but she got caught up in the crossfire and was tragically killed just a few feet away from her baby. 700 Jeezy allegedly let off some of the shots that killed Zion Hutcherson, and after it went down, he did the race and tried to escape from Texas. JayDaYoungan allegedly helped him hide out while he was on the run, but the cops caught up to 700 Jeezy in August 2020 and booked him on second-degree murder charges. Then in 2021, the news broke that JayDaYoungan was wrapped up in the case too. He was arrested for accessory to second-degree murder and obstruction of justice for helping 700 Jeezy escape after the shooting went down. But JayDaYoungan told the cops he didn't know anything about the situation. Nobody's been booked for JayDaYoungan's murder yet, but rumors say it was Purple City Boys clapping back for the death of Tykeith. If 700 Jeezy was the one who pulled the trigger on Tykeith and Jay helped Jeezy out after it went down, it makes sense that Purple City Boys could have wanted to take Jay out. And after JayDaYoungan was killed, his homie FG Famous is allegedly the one who started sliding immediately. FG Famous and JayDaYoungan have been tight since they were kids and were linking up in the booth too, but both of them are still connected to the streets, and FG Famous allegedly started putting major pressure on the Opps after Jay died. Rumors say FG Famous was involved with at least one of the other shootings that went down right after Jay was killed. And on the track, In the Name of 23, he raps, "That was my brother, nigga. What the fuck you think? I ain't gon' slide. I'm tryna flush a nigga. You fucking with that side, and you gon' die. I swear I wish I was right there. I would've cut back with my 9. And till all my ops put on the shelf, we ain't gonna stop slinging that iron. I got this 30 like I'm Steph. I'm tryna put one in his mind. You gotta feel how I just felt. On 23, bitch, I'ma ride." FG Famous had been in the trenches since he was a kid, and the ATF had been on this case for a while. Before JayDaYoungan died, the cops in Bogalusa tried to pull FG Famous over for illegal tint on his whip, but FG Famous tried to do the dash and started speeding over 100 miles an hour through the town. Then he ditched his car and tried to hide underneath the house, and that's where the cops found him with a pound of weed and 2 guns. FG Famous was out of jail when JayDaYoungan got shot, but the feds came through and arrested him in New Orleans while he was shopping for something to wear at Jay's funeral. And now he's facing a way bigger case too. In February 2024, news broke that a bunch of JayDaYoungan's homies were getting hit with the Rico case. The feds have been investigating them for years and claim they've been running drugs and guns all over Louisiana, killing Opps, and way more. One of the dudes named in the indictment is Kelzon Clark, aka Boo, and JayDaYoungan allegedly shouted him out on the track Evil when he raps, "Who claim they gon' step for you? Heard these bitch ass niggas tripping. Shit, I know just what to do. Pull up with my cousin Boo. Might send shots hanging out the roof." It's not clear if the Rico indictment is gonna cover the shootings that went down after Jay was killed, but the cops have been investigating his homie since 2017, and obviously they think they have enough evidence to bring down the whole crew. The feds had already picked up JayDaYoungan one.
I ain't okay, bro. I can just only look at this stuff and just shake my head. It's sadness, bro. Like, we really need help, bro. We really need help. We really gotta get it together, bro. Like, this stuff like this, and I ain't just putting it all on them. It's about us as a whole culture. This is why we'll never be back on top. We will never make it to the top, bro. This stuff like this is why.
Time before he died, Jay had been in the trenches for a long time, and even after he popped off from the rap game, he was getting caught up in legal drama. Back in 2019, the cops pulled him over and found weed and oxy pills in his whip, plus one of his homies in the car with him had a gun. Jay was supposed to be performing at Rolling Loud, which would have been a huge win for his career, but he missed the show because he got booked. Then in March 2020, the cops raided JayDaYoungan's house after he allegedly put hands on a pregnant woman. When the police pulled up, Jay tried to hide in the attic, but they found him up there and took $24K in cash from his crib too. 2021 was an even crazier year for Jay. In April 2021, he was booked in Georgia for possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, and the cops said they also found a bunch of lean, oxy pills, and guns on him at the same time. Then just a few months later, JayDaYoungan was hit with the accessory to second-degree murder charge over the 700 Jeezy and Tyke situation. And after he bonded out, Jay ended up right back behind bars. In October 2021, the cops caught him speeding down the highway with his passenger door open. And when Jay pulled over, they found a baby sitting in a woman's lap without a seatbelt. Jay bonded out again, but that's when the feds got involved. 1 month later, the ATF booked JayDaYoungan on federal charges. It's not clear what they were trying to get him for because he was killed before the case could go to trial, but the cops were all over Jay. And that's why a lot of people thought a Rico was coming way before the news was official. While most people think Purple City Boys was involved with JayDaYoungan's death, there are also some crazy rumors going around saying that the situation involves Jay's homies in Jacksonville, Florida. When JayDaYoungan started popping off in the rap game, he was linking up with other artists all over the South. And a few years before he died, he tapped in with Young and Ace from Jacksonville. Ace has been at war with another Jacksonville rapper named Julio Fulio for years, and their beef has made news all over the country. Jay linked up with Young and Ace right when the war in Jacksonville was really kicking off. Bodies were dropping on both sides, and Ace and Fulio started trading some of the wildest diss tracks ever. One of the people who died in their beef was Fulio's younger brother, Lil Bibby, and everyone on Ace's side started dissing him like crazy. When JayDaYoungan started rocking with Ace, he hopped in the beef too and even clowned Bibby by wearing a jersey.
I think Bibby gotta be one of the most dish person I've ever heard of, bro. Like I swear, I've heard his name a lot of times from a lot of different people. Crazy, bro.
With his name on it. Even though Jay wasn't actually involved with the streets in Jacksonville at all, he made it clear that he was picking a side in the war. And that's why some people believe that Fulio's people had something to do with his death. After Jay died, Fulio hopped on IG and started clowning his death. Fulio got a lot of hate for dissing JayDaYoungan, so he went live and said that Jay was acting like Fulio was his op. Jay was dissing his dead homies, so Fulio said he wasn't gonna just sit back and let it slide without saying anything. Fulio and his crew have allegedly caused all kinds of violence in Jacksonville, but there's no evidence that they were actually involved in Jay's murder. Fulio's not the only rapper that people are trying to tie the case to though. Back in the day, JayDaYoungan was also cool with NBA Youngboy and his team. Jay and his homie FG Famous linked up with OG33 for the track No Mask, and JayDaYoungan also dropped a track with Youngboy's homie Quando Rondo called Thuggin' For Real. JayDaYoungan and Youngboy ended up making some music together too, but there was drama going down behind the scenes. Jay posted a snippet of an unreleased track that he had with Youngboy, and Youngboy hopped in the comments and told him to delete it. After that, Jay started airing everything out and claimed that Youngboy was upset because Jay was hooking up with Youngboy's ex. JayDaYoungan dropped the track 38K and rapped, "I'm in my bag and niggas pissed, and plus he mad about a bitch. When I was fucking on his hoe, he was steady asking me about shit and begging me to leave her alone. This nigga acting like the bitch." Then Jay took another shot at Youngboy for making the comment about the track and said, "You put that pussy comment on my post, they laughed about that shit. But I was laughing when your baby mama gagged all on my dick." JayDaYoungan also took a shot at Youngboy's manager Dump, who had been shot and killed during Youngboy's beef with the set called TBG. Dump and Youngboy were really tight, so Jay started off his 38K track with the line, "And I don't dump no ashes either. Finna get real disrespectful. I don't give a fuck." JayDaYoungan even shouted out Young and AC's homie K-So on the track. K-So is allegedly one of the deadliest guys in AC's crew, and on 38K, Jay was talking about sending them on hits with the line, "Draco, tell them niggas lay low. I say go, my shooters, they gon' take souls. And I know a real stepper, shout out K-So. And I know a real hoe, they call him Baby Joe." Youngboy allegedly clapped back at Jay on the track, "Step on shit," when he rapped, "Pussy nigga scared to be in the beef, lying like he in the streets, knowing he'll be dead if we knew just where he was. so we've been stepping on them ducks. But after that, the beef pretty much died down. There's nothing linking YoungBoy or his crew, but the rumors started flying after a video came out showing JayDaYoungan's family and friends listening to 38K during Jay's funeral. No one knows for sure, but it doesn't really make sense for YoungBoy to be involved with the situation at all. JayDaYoungan and him weren't beefing that hard, and nobody had been hurt or killed over the drama. So YoungBoy sending shooters all the way out to Bogalusa over a couple of disses doesn't make sense. But now Jay's homies are all facing a Rico case, and people almost always start flipping when the whole crew gets wrapped up like this. Pretty much nobody beats a Rico if they take it to trial, so some of the dudes will probably start telling everything to get a plea deal. And maybe then, Jay's fans will finally know who took him out right before he had the chance to really blow up.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of them dudes gonna end up snitching on JayDaYoungan. It was him, because he's gone, and certain people be getting passes. Oh, I snitched on somebody who's not here. It was another artist that did that, Brandon. Someone gave a pass, but to me, that's still snitching. That's still two-headed wrong. You gonna snitch on somebody who can't defend themselves, who can't even deny it or something like that. But then again, I don't know. Depending on how close our bond was, if you can say it was me and I'm gone, say it was me, bruh. Say it was me so you can get off. Then again, I don't know, bruh. Hey, let me know in the comments, how would you feel? Just say, hey, God willing, when we pass, we ever still to look back and see, what our friends and family's doing. One of your friends said, oh, it was you that did X amount of things. How would you feel? Catch the next video.